Welcome back to another episode of the Stay Hype podcast, where I help you heighten your personal experience through my own experience on this earth. I'm your host, Kristen, and I'm so excited to be back for another episode. Today, we are talking about making friends with your insecurities. And the reason why this came to me is because we need to, and that is the way that we can liberate ourselves. Our insecurities are what are keeping us small and keeping us stuck, right? Our insecurities that we're not lovable, that we're not worthy enough, that we're not smart enough. So I've found through my own journey these last 2 years of being intentional around my healing is that the more that I made friends with my insecurities and would speak about them on social media, in public, to my family, whoever, it started not to have as much power and control over me, because the more I talked about it, the more I realized that a lot of people had the same insecurities as me. And then once I realized that, it was just a whole epiphany on how I am worrying about being judged by a society who is also worried about being judged. And I know that that information and that sentence is, not new. We have heard these sayings our whole lives, but do we actually live by them? And I think one thing that I have really learned is that all the cliches that we hear, you only live once, live life to the fullest, the truth hurts but it sets you free, those were some of the best nuggets of advice that some of us were given. And when you actually really think about those sayings, they're very true. They are very, very true. And so when you bring your insecurities to light, they no longer are in the darkness. The darkness is what we're running from. And so, for me, one of my biggest insecurities that I wasn't even aware was an insecurity was my skin color. How being a dark-skinned Black woman and growing up in a neighborhood with people surrounded by, Caucasian, white people that didn't look like me, a big insecurity of mine was being Black. And that was really painful and shameful for me to admit. And it was really painful and shameful for me to admit that I didn't look at other Black women or other Black people and want to be friends and wanting to feel like I felt love. I always felt like there was a disconnect, and that was because I was disconnected from my own culture. And so I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't feel secure with my own race. And we all know that dates back, and there's a reason for that, and that's a whole nother episode. But staying on topic, the insecurities that I had around my natural hair, around the skin color, how dark I am, was really debilitating. I had a huge identity crisis in middle school and high school. I wore blue contacts. I straightened my hair, never would wear it natural, always wanted it to be, pin straight so that I could feel desirable and lovable and good enough. And I didn't realize that the circle of friends that I surrounded myself with, while I don't think no one's inherently bad, it wasn't the best representation that I needed. And I wanted to be more like them than I wanted to be like me. And so those insecurities started to build. And then especially when I started dating, it was very evident. And it wasn't until my last relationship that I realized I was carrying this huge insecurity. And I realized, okay, well, I can go try to bleach my skin. I can continue wearing straight hair and trying to fit in, or I can learn to love myself, and I can just say I'm insecure about this. These are things that I feel, because they're valid. And once I actually sat with why I felt like this, I realized it's obviously society and the racism and just all of it. It makes sense. It wasn't my thoughts. It wasn't my feelings, because now that I brought those insecurities to light and I really get real with myself, I love how dark my skin is, and I love my natural hair, and it's been the most beautiful and rewarding experience coming back home to myself. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't make friends with my insecurities. And so I know we are all carrying a lot of insecurities. Some are just things that we really don't like about ourselves. Some of the things are society telling us that we shouldn't like about ourselves. Some of it is from our very own families. We get projected on a lot, and we project onto others. And when that happens, it's just a cycle of negative energy that just continues to fester until one person decides to say, you know what, I'm going to stop projecting all these insecurities. I'm going to stop trying to make other people feel insecure. I'm going to stop making other people feel bad, and really just look in the mirror and ask myself why I feel bad. Because you can see it all over social media in the comments. It's just, it really does pain me to hear and see people speak the way they do about themselves and just the world, and know that it's all coming from a place of deeply rooted insecurities, limited beliefs, so many other things. But a lot of it is rooted in insecurity, especially when it comes to like the body shaming, and people talking about people's weight and then trying to make it like they're altruistic and saying, I'm just worried about them. No, you're not. There's insecurities that you have within yourself, or there's triggers from your own trauma when your parents were constantly monitoring your weight all the time to where you feel like you need to do that to others. It's not kind. It's not. You're not going in someone's comments and saying, oh my God, you look like a fat ass. You need to lose some weight. That's not being kind. That is a projection of how you feel about yourself or how others have made you feel. And then you're not stopping the cycle because you're not bringing up your own insecurities and you're projecting them onto others. And so I've really understood that. I've really see that for what it is, and it's really been liberating. We all have insecurities, like I've said this whole episode, and once I got clear and comfortable and best friends, besties with mine, they stopped controlling me. And now I can talk about things that have held me back, like my sexual trauma, my identity crisis, my insecurities around relationships and men because of my sexual trauma. And so again, what I'm seeing is that a lot of the insecurities that I've carried in my life, in relationships, have not been because I'm just inherently insecure. It's because I've been a victim of different situations. I've had trauma, I've had different things that have caused me to think the way I think. But since I chose to no longer be a victim of my insecurities and my circumstances in my past, I'm now a survivor, I'm thriving, and I'm working through my pain, which is no longer an insecurity because I don't carry the shame of what happened to me. It's not my shame to carry. And I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be at this amazing revelation and this amazing liberating conclusion without making friends with my insecurities around intimacy, right? So it has been very rewarding. It has been a very gratifying experience. I'm trying to think of how many words I can say to express and convey how powerful I feel now. I really, really do, and I want you guys to feel the same. And there's so many insecurities. I see it, going out, men, women, no matter what you identify, we all have them. And if we can learn to be a little bit more compassionate when people are forthcoming with their insecurities instead of making fun of them, then maybe we will be able to have a society that doesn't feel the need to hide, right? We feel the need to hide because we're all hiding from ourselves in some way or another until we're not. And those parts that we're hiding from are ultimately what are driving our decisions in life, believe it or not. Because you're not making decisions out of love if you are holding on to all these low vibrational feelings that are making you feel unworthy of love. You're not making decisions and empowerment when you are constantly believing all these things about yourself that are disempowering. It doesn't work like that. And so the only person that you're fooling at the end of the day is yourself. The only person that you're lying to is yourself when you post the pictures and you post the videos and different things on social media pretending that you got it all together when you don't. And I'm not saying that you have to air all your dirty laundry out on social media like me. There's a select few people that really like to be transparent, and it's because we're supposed to. It's part of our mission to be transparent, to help you be transparent in your own lives. But what I'm saying is that you know how you feel about yourself at the end of the night. After all the shots and the liquid courage and the false sense of ego and the lies and whatever you try to do in the captions about how big and bad you are, when actually you feel very small and insecure and fragile. And I'm not saying that to hurt anyone or mock anyone. I'm speaking directly to myself. I'm speaking to my past self. I was hurting. I had a ton of insecurities, and I was pretending that I had it all together, and that led me down a path of not setting boundaries, not speaking my truth, and ultimately getting very, very hurt. Okay? So if you take anything from today's episode, make friends with your insecurities so they stop controlling you. Once you make friends with them, then you start to open your eyes to how many people are running away from their own. And then when someone does that passive aggressive or, mean or negative comment on your post, you can see it for what it really is. Oh, you're hurting. And now I like to do that. And instead of meeting somebody on their lower frequency, because that doesn't resonate with me anymore, I just give them love. When someone says something, oh, your hair, why did you do your hair like that? It's ugly. Where are you feeling hurt? Where are you insecure about certain parts of your body that you can't be honest and you have to make fun of my hair? I actually love my hair. And that's all that really matters, since it's on my head. And, I'm going to send you love, and I hope that you work through whatever it is that's causing you to just spew hate on someone that has done absolutely nothing to you. And when you talk to them just like that, in person, online, it's a really funny reaction. Usually they don't say anything else, or they apologize. So, speaking your truth, getting comfortable with your insecurities, because my hair used to be a really big insecurity of mine, and if it still was, that would have made me crumble, right? Because I didn't like my natural hair. I didn't like hairstyles that showed my ethnicity. I liked straight hair. So if I wouldn't have made friends with that, these comments would have torn me down. But instead, I choose to take their pain and alchemize it into love and give it right back to them. Because that's exactly what I've had to do to heal myself. I've had to alchemize my pain and my insecurities and turn them into love. And now I can really wholeheartedly say that I love myself more than I ever have. Ever. This is a new feeling for me, and it's amazing. And I want everyone to experience this type of self-love. And I'm just getting started. I'm still finding ways that I can love myself and be more gentle and kind and compassionate to myself. I'm still finding ways every single day, and I'm going to continue to find ways to love myself better and better every single day. And one major way is making friends with your insecurities, because they are a part of you, whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it. They are a part of who you are right now. And if there's things that you want to change, then that means you got to bring those shadows to light and alchemize your pain into something more purposeful. And for that is my time. I hope you guys enjoyed this, got something from this. I love you. Make sure you're following me on socials, _Stay Hype on TikTok and Instagram. Stay Hype on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you already know that. And on Spotify and Apple, it should be Stay Hype. I say should because Apple's acting crazy. We'll see though. But anyway, I love you guys. Do kind things. It will come back to you times 10. I'm living proof. Okay? Have a good day.